little girl. And I'll hold you close in the back of my mind. Feels so good, but damn makes me hurt. And I'm too scared to know how I feel about you now. I see energy smiling, see you around. And I'll hold you close in the back of my mind. Raise my glass, 'cause either way I'm dead. Neither of you really helped me to sleep anymore. One breaks my body and the other breaks my soul. I see energy smiles and waves goodbye. On with the jeans, the jacket and the shirt. How'd end up feeling so bad for such a little girl? And I'll hold you close in the back of my mind. So good, but damn makes me hurt. I'm too scared to know how I feel about you now. How I feel about you now. I see energy smiles and see you around. Yeah, interesting one, that. A nice little song. It's a little song by Ryan Adams, if anybody is with me at this stage. I'm going to say hello to anybody who's about in a moment, because I had some problems getting online tonight, so I'm sorry I was a little bit late. So you can all start your hellos now if you want to, and then after this next song I'm going to come back and I'm going to say hello to everybody who's joined me for tonight's session, which will be fantastic. I can see already there's 18 people out there, which is really, really good. Okay, so here we go. This is a little bit of an old-timey song. I'm sure you kind of recognize this one. As somebody asked me earlier on today about kind of country songs and things like that, although this isn't typically a country song. Excuse me. There are some kind of country ideas in it. Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Are you sorry we drifted apart? Does your memory stray to a bright summer's day when I kissed you and called you sweetheart? Do the chairs in your parlor feel empty and bare? Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Chairs in your parlor seem empty and bare. Do you gaze at your doorstep and picture me there? Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I come back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight? Little bit of Lonesome Tonight for you there, folks. So, who we got on board tonight then? Yeah, hey, Palmer, I was thinking of you earlier on. If you lose your money, Greg, don't lose your mind. If you lose your money, Greg, don't lose your mind. And if you lose your woman, please don't fool with mine. Yeah, and so on. Palmer, I was thinking of your Outside Blues earlier on today. So, going to say hello to everybody who's joined us. Let's have a little look here. Some of them have passed me by. Susie's here, which is really nice. Susie, I'm glad you're here. Oh, and Gary has joined us tonight, who's got a Facebook group going, which I should let you all know about. Gary, feel free to put a message up here about your little Facebook group, and perhaps people would like to go along and check that out. Thanks for joining us. Paul H. Hey, it's showtime. And Terry, yeah, Julie, Preston Johnson, hey, fantastic. And John Northgate, hey, John, thanks. Lisa, it's great to see you, Lisa. It's been ages since I caught up with you. Paul H. Hi, everyone, front seats, Terry Cook, Susie, yeah, hi, Julie. And we got Thomas, Joe, it's going good. And we've got Freewheel. And don't forget to say where you're all from, guys. You know what my memory's like. Brian, hi, my connection is constantly buffering. Oh, that's a shame to hear that. I'm sorry about that. So we got John. I'm not too bad tonight. Shared it on Facebook. Yeah, hi there, Pat and Kent. Nice reminder this morning to set alarm to tune in. Kent, did you like the backdrop there? I got the feeling that you might like that. I was trying to get the horses in there. Somebody made a suggestion that I should invite all the patrons over to the farm, and we should have a big bonfire and campfire night. I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Gary. And hi to everybody. And Giles, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that's great. Paul H. Everybody's doing fine here. And Kev's even here as well. Okay, so things are okay. We've got a few things going on here. Kev always asks me for a bit of Black Dog Blues, which is a tricky little number. Out of practice with me blind Blake, Kev, I'm afraid. I'll need to brush up on a little bit of that for you. Susie, you were sitting earlier and got worried. Yes, well, no need to worry now, folks. I'm here. Almost have Outside Woman blues nailed down. I tell you what, Palmer, that I'm impressed, because that is not an easy number, I don't think. If you lose your money, Greg, don't lose your mind. If you lose your money, Greg, don't lose your mind. If you lose your woman, please don't fool with mine. And so on and so forth. Yeah, that's a nice song, that is. So I hope you're all doing well. Wonderful songs. Oh, Kent. Oh, Kent, honestly, for the tip jar tonight. Thank you very much, Kent. As if you're not kind enough already. One of these days I might get over your neck of the woods, Kent. I've been talking to a few people about coming over the States. I'd love to do that. A lot of places in the South I'd like to see, but who wouldn't want to go to California, Kent? I mean, it's kind of, well, it's where the sun shines. It's the land of milk and honey, isn't it, really? So, Kent, look, that's awfully kind of you. It really, really is. Okay. Jeez, honestly, you really don't need to be doing that. But it's very, very kind of you, and thank you very much. Okay. So that first song you heard was called La Sienna by Ryan Adams, and quite a few people got in touch about that and were wondering what it was. So that's what it is, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on that. That'll be over at Patreon, so you'll be able to catch up on that one. I've just been running through some things that, I want to play you a few songs tonight, as well as having a chat with you and things like that, about various things, and hopefully I can give you some kind of tips and bits and pieces, tips wise as well. So if you want to ask me anything, then now's the time as well. You can do that. Where in the world were you, Joe, in 1967? I wasn't even born, John. Can you believe it? I know it's hard to believe. I know I look like I should have been born in 67, but I didn't come until the following year. So I wasn't even a thought, John, in 67. Or well, I obviously was a thought because I came along in 68, but hey, Rammy's okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so another song you will have heard me playing quite a lot lately. You probably realise that I'm kind of a fan of JJ Cale. I like a lot of his music. If you haven't checked it out, I would suggest that you do. I think he was a great writer of songs. He was a great player. Benjamin, you're very welcome for my videos. Just a great all-round artist, really. He speaks for itself, because when you think of the people he influenced, Eric Clapton, Mark Knopfler, so many people, he's been an inspiration to me as well over the years. And as many of you will be aware, I've covered quite a few of his songs now. I've done parts 1, 2 and 3 over on YouTube, and I've also done a number of videos from his latest album. They're over at Patreon. So you might be right, you could be wrong. I ain't saying our love is gone. Who would know? Only you and I. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. I never doubt the things you say. It's all about the way we play. We gotta live before we die. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. Maybe we're looking for new changes. tomorrow, it'll never come. I dream of sorrow when it come undone. From bad to worse, I won't deny. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. And that's a little song by J.J. Cale. You may be familiar with that. You may have heard me play it on the channel. That's one for you all to kind of, you can all learn that one. It's over on YouTube, as the bulk of my videos are, in fact. So you can check that one out there, and that's called If We Try. And it's a lovely little song. Gary earlier on asked me, I think, about country things and that, Gary. You know, one thing, if you want to play country, a starting point, if you like, if you're wanting to play country. Now, this might be basic for some of you, but nevertheless, hopefully it'll be of use to some of you. So, you know, if we're just strumming a song like that, I could have quite easily just played D. Obviously, you know, with a kind of plectrum and things. And it still sound nice, you know. So just as an example, you might be right, you could be wrong. I ain't saying our love is gone. Who would know? Only you and I. It'll come again, this love of ours, if we try. Okay, so if we want to make things sound a little bit more country, okay, and we've got a plectrum, then what we can do is we can start, rather than just strumming it like that, we can kind of pick out some of the bass notes, you know, so. And you'll probably hear that kind of Johnny Cash kind of sound. So that's a kind of good way, you know, to find your way into country, if you like, because what you're doing is, rather than just playing the chord, you're kind of playing a little bit of bass as well, like you're the bass player as well, yeah? And so the more you do that, then the more you can refine that, you know? So, you know, you will start off basic, obviously. So if we're using our fingers, same principle applies. See, we're just kind of picking out those bass notes. So that's a good way to start off with your kind of, you know, perhaps taking it, say for example, you're just playing chords and things at the moment, and you just want to make it sound a little bit different, perhaps a little bit fuller or something like that, then that's a kind of technique that you can use to do that. I realize it's basic, and, you know, some of you may be way past that stage, but I like to kind of give something for everybody, you know, so, you know, beginners and intermediate and advanced and stuff like that. So, you know, that's a good starting point, I would say, for getting into that thing. And then, you see, once you kind of get familiar with it, you can then develop it even further, you know, and this spills over into blues as well, you know. Obviously, you know, in blues, there's a lot of kind of accompaniment to just a normal rhythm part sometimes, you know, and let's say, for example, you know, something like When Did You Leave Heaven? When did you trade heaven? Got this alternating bass. How did it let you go? And then we can, how's everything up in heaven? Which is, you know, a classic kind of. Okay, so if you're looking out to do a few of these things, I realize they might be of some use to you, okay? So this song is in the key of C, all right? So we've got this C. When did you leave heaven? just alternating with the bass, then to an F. How did they let you go? Back to C. How's everything up in heaven? Now when we're at this stage of the C, we just take this C note here, which is we're playing in the bass, and we walk it down. And then we play an open note at the end, so we're just going. Alright, so you can hear that in context. That takes us nicely into RA. Okay? I would love to know. Back to G there. Why did you leave heaven? Just the C, alternating. How did they let you go? Alternating, so just CF, how's everything? Now down to RA. To a D7, I would love to know. Then we're into a C. Why did you trade heaven? F for all these earthly, and then we go into an E major 7. And then we go into an F. And this is interesting because again we're talking about these bass line side of things. So we go into this F and we go. Now if you're a kind of fan of Eric Clapton and his Unplugged album, you know this is very common stuff for all these C blues, if you like. So we've got this run here, which we've just looked at, a C, which takes us into an A7 quite nicely. And conversely, if we're playing an F, then we play this little, so I'm just playing a half F there. And then what I'm doing is I'm playing on this 4th string. Okay, so we're just playing the 3rd fret 4th string, 4th string, 4th fret 4th string, and then we're back to our C walk down. Into a D and a G7, and then why did you trade heaven? F for all these earthly things. E. Where did you leave your little halo? Where did you hide your wings? And then you have nice little kind of intros into songs. So all these kind of things help build your songs from just being, say, chords into something a little bit more, what should we call it really? I suppose it's a bit more complex, but it's a bit more interesting as well. So, you know, not to say it's not interesting playing your chords and things like that, but once you've done that, then it's a good idea to try and stretch yourself. Always try and raise the bar a little bit, so you're always constantly striving for something a little. I think that's a good tip, but never try and reach too far. So if you've just picked up the guitar last week, then forget about Robert Johnson for a few weeks at least. You know, you really need to be going. And just learning basic stuff, you know, and then once you get good at that, you can then improvise, make it a little better, okay? You start getting the dampened feel. Okay, and once you get that going, then you can start adding other elements. So always just build it up kind of slowly if you can. I think that's a kind of, you know, a good way of looking at it and things. Because, you know, sometimes if you reach a little bit too high, then you're treading water, you're not really going anywhere because you're striving for something which is out of reach, ultimately, and that can be very disheartening. And given that all this guitar thing is about enjoying the journey, then you won't enjoy the journey much if you don't feel like you're progressing, you know, it's all taking too long. Now, if things are taking way too long, you're either not practicing enough or you're trying to play things which are too difficult. So it's very important to kind of get the balance right, yeah? Okay, so we've had a little bit of chat. Let me see who else we've got joining us here now. Okay, let's have a little look. If anybody else has joined us, Samir, hi, yeah. Okay, hello to Samir. And we got Deadwood. Hey, hey, sounding better. I'm glad I'm kind of sounding better. Excellent song. Yeah, Call Me the Breeze, never really. JJ Cale, gonna be looking him up. Yeah, Gary, well worth a look up, honestly. Sorry, Joe, I wasn't suggesting you look old. I'm just showing my age. Any friends here that are curious? No, I don't remember the days before guitars were invented. No, no offense there. Bill, hey Bill. Would like to know if it's possible for you to show how to play the best. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that stuff. And we got Maxter here. Hey, no notification. Yeah, it's a common thing, it would appear. Susie's had that happen. Julie's had it happen. You know, we've had so many people having that happen. Nice energy in your online lesson. Yeah, you know, there's a little bit of, hey, David from Australia, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I often get asked about a little kind of... I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. And when I awoke, I was alone, this bed had flown. So I lit a fire, isn't it good? Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. I told her I didn't and got up to sleep in the bath. There's a little bit of Beatles for you. I know quite a few of you are Beatles fans out there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let me blind you now, taking my hat off. It's getting hot in here, or the pressure's getting to me, one or the other. I think it's the temperature, though. I'm fairly sure it is the temperature in this place. Now, I had a few other little things lined up for you tonight. I know that I often get a kind of request for old Leon Redbone. He's a personal favourite of mine, as you may well know. My fingers on fire. I only wish they were, Julie. My fingers don't feel like they're working tonight. You know, a good way. Do you know what a good way for me to test if my fingers are working? I'll show you, okay? I haven't wanted to do this to embarrass myself, but given that you're all my regular viewers, I just want you to know that I'm human too, okay? I'm not some, you know, guitar god or something like that. Just get this other one out. And this is tuned to a very, very peculiar tuning. F sharp 7. Would you believe that? This tells me where I'm at with my finger picking, this number, okay? I was going to do a separate lesson on this, but I'll kind of just touch on a few things, okay? I don't want everybody getting kind of bored and stuff like that, but I did also want to pass on some practice tips, okay? So, you know, when you're practicing something particularly difficult, okay, there's a kind of method that I have for doing this kind of thing for anybody who's interested. Now, this is something that I kind of heard and I really like, okay? And it's a song by Fleetwood Mac and it's called Say Goodbye. And it's a really, really nice track. I knew as soon as I heard it, it'd be a nice track to play. But I also knew that I would have to practice it on a daily basis for an hour, for potentially 2 or 3 weeks before I get anywhere near it. Okay, because some numbers are very, very difficult, and particularly if you're fussy like me. I mean, I won't just play the notes and be happy with that. You know, I want to try and get it to a place where it's free from mistakes and the tone sounds good and all these other kind of elements. So it's really important when you're getting numbers together that you don't move on to something else before you've really got the previous thing sorted. Now, I am going to take a look at this. I did think of doing this as a lesson, but I think it's kind of got limited appeal because it is quite difficult. It may not sound like, but it kind of is. So when I start off with something like this, I'm looking to start slow, very, very slow, just to get my fingers working. Think of the basic chord changes, play it nicely, but very, very slow. Speed just comes. So the chords are... So I'm thinking all the time of what I'm doing and what can be improved, what's weak, what's strong. I'm just analysing. So that's once round, I go back, try and speed it up a little. And so I'm just constantly trying to kind of listen for where the weak areas are and then improve on those kind of things. That's all I'm really trying to illustrate. It might be a simple point, but it's one nevertheless that I want to kind of put your way. Because I think we can get into this syndrome where we're just practicing, you know, to somebody on a screen or to a piece of paper or something like that. And we're so kind of engrossed in, you know, that kind of interaction with the paper or the screen or something like that, that we don't really pay enough attention to what we're doing. So first of all, get the number down, okay, so you can play all the notes. And really, once you can play all the notes, you should consider that a starting point, not an ending point, all right? So that's my only point with that. So that's something, if you're interested in, I may be taking a look at it some point in the future. I've got so many people joined us here tonight, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. 41 people here now, which is an absolute record. So I think it's about time I played you another tune, isn't it? I don't want to talk too much because I'm never sure how much you kind of, you know, you want me to kind of talk and how much you want me to play. You know, you might all be sat there thinking, shut up, Joe, just get on with the playing. Or you might be thinking, put your guitar down and talk to us. So it's a very, very difficult one. And of course, here come the kind of calls for the blues again. Susie's asking, hey, Predrag, it's great to see you here, mate, for a while. And Ken, Yeah, yeah, you know, can you play? Yeah, a lot of people say about Brothers in Arms, don't they? So that's a little bit of Brothers in Arms. I've got all these comments coming up, and I'm trying to look, I'm trying to play. Sometimes it's quite difficult. A lot of you kind of like the blues, don't you? And I do too. I do too. I do too. So let's play a blues, yeah. Hey, baby, don't you wanna go? I said, hey, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, my sweet home, Chicago? Now, 1 and 1 is 2, baby, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm heavy loaded, baby, I'm booked, I gotta go. I'm singing, hey, hey, baby, don't you wanna go back to the land of California, my sweet home, Chicago? Where we go now? Little bit of Sweet Home Chicago for you, for all you blues lovers. You're kind of every time I've played the blues, you seem to all love the blues actually, and I guess that's why a lot of people are head over Patreon way, because there's a lot of blues on my Patreon page there, and people keep gobbling it up. They kind of tend to like it, you know. Yeah, my fingers just ain't doing it tonight. I was just trying to think if I had. Yeah, 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 yeah. From 4 till late, I was wringing my hands and crying. From 4 till late, I was wringing my hands and crying. I believe to my soul that let your daddies go profound. Now from Memphis to Norfolk is a 36-hour ride. From Memphis to Norfolk is a 36-hour ride. Said man's like a prisoner, he's never satisfied. What's going on here? Something just pinged at me. Oh, hey, Palmer, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing... Oh, God, you're too generous, you guys. I saw just had this big ping. I better carry on with that from 4 to... So that's from 4 to late, yeah? Really, really nice track. Where are we going? What key? You have A. Yeah, well, I have C. From 4 to late to F, F minor and C. From 4 till late I was wringing my hands and crying. I believe to my soul that your daddies go bound. I said it, man, woman is like a dresser, someone's always rambling through its drawers. Yeah, it's good old Robert Johnson. I mean, there's plenty of Robert Johnson stuff over on my Patreon page, over on YouTube as well, guys. So, you know, there's nothing to be waiting around for there. It's good to try and have a bash at some of that stuff. He's good, you know. He's good. Obviously, you don't need me to tell you that. Yeah, thanks, Thomas. I'm glad you enjoyed that. What we got on here, we give me my allowance. I like it, Palmer. Cool. Oh, is that James? Yeah, James Hastings. Hi there, James. And okay, we got all kinds of people here today. Palmer opening up his money box there. That's very, very kind of you, Palmer. You're already a patron. You guys, you're just too kind to me, yeah? Another little kind of number coming your way soon, I think, is going to be... we've already had a look at this song, but this is a nice little song if you... after a hard day's at work and you want to relax a little bit and, you know, chill out, then I find Leon Redbone is quite a great artist to kind of do that. He's very jazzy, he's very bluesy, but he's done some cracking songs. I've covered some of them. Please Don't Talk About Me When I'm Gone. We've also covered Relax as well, which is a lovely track. Let me play you a little bit, yeah? Just to remind you. Okay, here we go. Anytime you choose, kick off your shoes, rest your weary eyes, and catch up with the news. Our favorite book will be The Perfect Company, so relax. Oh, la-da-da-da-dee. Forget about your blues, you're doing fine. You leave your cares and worries far behind. Loosen up your tie, let the world creep by. Laugh. Life and all its troubles start to get you down. Laugh and put your heels up and turn yourself around. Anytime you choose, kick off your shoes, rest your weary eyes, and catch up with the news. Our favorite book will be The Perfect Company, so relax. Oh, la-da-da-da-dee. Nice feel to the song. We've got an E, an F, a D, D7, a G, C7, an F, D minor, G minor, and C7. Forget about your blues, you're doing fine. Leave your cares and worries far behind. Favorite group will be the perfect company, so relax. La-da-da-da-dee. Johan, nice to see you. Yeah, caught up with you at last. Jack, what Robert Johnson song would I start with? That's a very good question, and one I was I actually answered the other day, Jack. But I would suggest, if you haven't done any Robert Johnson before, take a look at Kind Hearted Woman Blues. I've done it on my YouTube site, so you can go watch it there. It's a really nice one, Jack. It's a great starting point for the Robert Johnson. It's just, without going into it, because I've played a lot of Robert Johnson, but you know, he just uses some basic positions like this. So you can have some kind of fun with that type of stuff. I'd take a look at that if I were you. Lisa, I knew you'd be the awkward one. It's an open tuning, Motherless Child. Let me see if I can remember what tuning it is, okay? If I don't, we're in trouble, because I will have tuned down to something. Let's see anyway. Give it a go. Hopefully they're 2 Ds. They're 2 Ds. They're kind of 2 A's. Not bad for jazz. Now, I hope this is right, Lise. This is especially for you, this one. But I just hope I've got the right tuning. Else we're going to have to wander off somewhere else. No, I've got it wrong, Lise. We've landed on our feet, Lisa. There we go. This is one for Lisa. It's not way off anymore. If I mistreat you, girl, I sure don't mean. It's way off in terms of it's a little bit low for me there, shall we say, vocally. Let's try it somewhere a little bit else, see if that's any better. If I mistreat you, girl, shut up. No, that's what's going on with this. I know what I've done. I've just gone to. If I mistreat you, girl, shut up, shut me no harm. Let me see if I can find it in this tune. In this, I've never had to do this before. sure don't mean no harm. If I mistreat you, girl, sure don't mean no harm. Just a motherless child, don't know right from wrong. I had to go so far, girl, to get my ham bones boiled. Had to go so far, girl, to get my ham bones burned. Well, he's had a lot of women, won't let my ham bones burn. Well, I did more for you, girl, than your daddy ever done. Well, I did more for you, girl, than your daddy ever done. Well, I gave you my jewelry, and he ain't getting it. Well, I'm going to the river, get me a tan rocking chair. Well, I'm going to the river, get me a tan rocking chair. And if the blues overtake me, I'm gonna ride away from there. We got there in the end, Lise. A bit long-winded, but it was close enough. Have you ever seen peaches growing on a sweet potato vine? And have you ever seen peaches growing on a sweet potato vine? Well, wake up, mama, take your leg off mine. Well, I'm going up country. Baby, do you wanna go? Yeah, I'm going up country. Baby, do you wanna go? When I leave here, mama, I won't be coming back no more. And I love that woman, I just can't call her name. Yeah, I love that woman, I just can't call her name. 'Cause she's a married woman, but I love her just the same. Well, look here, mama, look what you done done. Yeah, look here, mama, look what you done done. Well, you made me love you, now your man done come. Vestipol. Little bit of Vestipol. Right, back to tune. Well, I've had a tuner sat on the top of my guitar here. I've forgotten clean about it all. Trying to do it all by ear. Well, guys, we're going to have a little final farewell in a moment. I wanted to play you a few more things this week, and I've got this week's tips coming up shortly, so we'll round off. I'm going to play you one more song in a little while. I'm going to send you away with a few little tips for anybody who's interested. Hold on. That's the one. All right. Yeah, there was one. What was the one? Switch my tuner off. Honey, babe, don't let the deal go down. Honey, babe, please let the deal go down. We can get the money and walk on down through town. I'm a stranger to you, you're a stranger to me. I'm a stranger to you, and you're a stranger to me. It would be so good if you could help me be. And I'm a stranger to you, you're a stranger to me. Oh, I'm a stranger to you, you're a stranger to me. If you would be my babe, oh, happy I would be. I've traveled until the whole world through. I've traveled the whole world through. If I ain't found a woman look as sweet as you. That's a nice little track. I'm going to be taking a look at this one. Lovely little track. Sometimes it's good to learn things, depending on what you want to do, obviously. But I sometimes like to do some of these numbers in B flat. It's a very awkward key for guitar, but it means if ever I play with a band, i.e. a brass band or any kind of band with, you know, say clarinet and trumpet and all these other things, you know, B flat comes into the equation quite a lot when you're playing in that situation. So I always like to have a few up my sleeve if I'm ever in that situation whereby I might be required to, you know, play something along those lines. Okay, guys, so look, let me kind of run a few little tips past you, okay? And for anybody who's interested, last week we talked about Oh, geez, this leg of mine is still playing up, but it's a lot better. Thanks for all your good wishes, I have to say, guys. That's really much appreciated. It's really, really nice of you. The situation on the health in a nutshell is my back is being sorted out, but my sciatic nerve is playing up a treat. But I'm getting through. That's the main thing. There's no point moaning about these things, but you just got to crack on, really. Okay, so last week we talked about some tips and things. All right, I'm going to give you a few each week that I consider to be relatively helpful and important. Okay, I'll just touch on the ones from last week. There were only a couple, okay, and that was to create a dedicated space for when you're practicing, especially if you've got like kids or grandkids or just a lot of traffic in the house type of thing. Find yourself a little spot because not only is it like quiet and kind of inspiring in a sense, you're not going to be distracted. That's kind of important. But you can put all your junk there, your capos, your plectrums, your slides, your tuners, your guitar case, your guitar, your stool. It's a good idea to just have it all in one place, okay? Now, as I just touched on there, it's a good idea to practice slowly, you know, especially irrespective of what you're practicing, really. Try and play it slow well. And when you can play it well, slowly, then you can think about the tone of what you're playing, you know. So like I was saying to you about this number, which I'm finding kind of quite a challenge, this kind of. Okay, so I'm thinking about lots of things when I play that. I'm thinking about the tone. I'm thinking about, do I want to play this up here? So it's got this kind of sound. Or do I want to play it down here where it's more. Your little considerations like that. Trying to realize the best way to change from chord to chord. Give these kind of what seem on the face of it to be very obvious things. Give them a little bit of thought, okay? That's really, really helpful. Think about what you're doing. It might seem an obvious thing to say. So practice slowly, okay? It's really, really important for a number of reasons. I'm not going to go into too much depth in this here, but suffice it to say that if you learn something incorrectly, like say the fingering, how you switch chords or what fingers you're using to play something, then those mistakes, you learn the mistakes, if that makes sense, okay? So you start repeating the mistakes because that's what you've taught your memory is right, because you've been trying to play it too quickly. So enough said about that. Make sure you practice slowly, okay? Okay, so another tip is to practice like you mean it, because there can be a tendency sometimes to just relax and almost, think, well, I'm just practicing. I don't really need to give it 100% here. It doesn't need to be. I'm not sat in front of an audience, all these kind of things. But that's a bit of a false economy. Whenever you pick up your guitar, it could be a good idea to think of an audience in front of you, because a lot of us can be, when we're first put in front of an audience, it's a bit like a rabbit in headlights. It doesn't always give us a great feeling. So try and practice around people as well. Even if it's the family, if you have a barbecue or you have a party or something like that, then get the guitar out. Thanks, yeah, Johan. Get the kind of guitar. Always try and put yourself in an awkward situation, because that's going to stand you in good stead if you have any aspirations of playing out live. Okay, let me move this. It's got some reflections going on there. Okay, so practice like you mean it, essentially. Sometimes obviously it's good to just just have a little bit of a noodle about and not be too precious about it. I appreciate that, but sometimes make your practice kind of focused. Now, another good thing that I recommend people to do. These are things that people don't generally do that are good things to do. So you can either listen and do them or ignore them. But I'll kind of show you anyway, just very briefly, okay? But what you want to do is try and learn the notes all across the fingerboard. If you can do that, you will have made a massive journey. You don't need to do it quickly, okay? You can just learn the first fret, so you know every note there, yeah, without thinking about it. and then you can move up to the 2nd fret, or you can just do it one string at a time, like E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E, F, so on, yeah? Or you can do it, as I say, the other way, going down. So these are things that I really strongly suggest. So if you kind of if you value the things that I kind of say, then try and take some of these things on board. So you need to try and learn the notes. It doesn't matter about the speed. Just spend a little bit of time each day or each couple of days or something like that. Okay, a good exercise, a really, really good exercise. Okay, Gary, you take care, mate. Thanks again for making the post on Facebook and stuff. Hey, we got Russia here tonight as well. Okay, so one more exercise. Don't forget your scales, major scales, and minor scales and pentatonic scales. They're all good to play. A good exercise is to use one string per finger. Do this kind of thing. Yeah, going down all the notes and then back up. Great warm-up exercise, this one. Okay, so we're just going at 1 fret, 1 string, keeping our fingers on, because it's easy to take them off. It's not very hard. Keep them on. And go like that through the strings. So that's a good idea. And of course your scales. So these are all kind of good things that get your fingers in the mood for a play and stuff like that, yeah? So that's worth thinking about. Okay, now another thing is to not overlook the rhythm side of things, because a lot of people have a desire to play lead and to play all the riffs, the fancy riffs and everything else. But if you haven't got rhythm, it's very, very difficult to do that anyway. So it makes a lot of sense for you to practice your rhythm, because your timing is kind of everything in this situation. It's really, really important for you to take that on board, because, you know, it's one of the most fundamental things. It's one of the things that people who don't play music and only listen to music, they can hear when the timing is out. Even though they're not a musician, they're just a listener. It's one thing that's very apparent to somebody who's listening. So that's a very, very first step. It's a great idea to just try and practice your timing, and you can do that kind of with a metronome. And you can do it in all kinds of ways. You can tap your feet, and you can do all these other types of things. You know, that's kind of really important as well. And your final tip for this week is to try and have dynamics in your playing. And all that really means is for it not to be all the same volume, okay? You know, it's a little bit like what I was playing in the beginning of the lesson, yeah? Where we were playing, you know, some kind of... It doesn't really matter what it is, but, you know, this kind of... Now, there's soft, slightly louder, and there's in between. Hello, crew. Yeah, so soft and loud and soft and loud, and this kind of, you know, difference between soft and loud is dynamics. So, you know, try and incorporate some of that in your playing. So, guys, it's been a little bit of a different show this week. I've tried to do a little bit more playing for you, because I know a lot of you enjoy the playing and stuff. If any of you want to say farewell or thanks or bye or see you next week, now's the time to do it. I've been on a lot longer than I thought I was going to be on tonight, which is fine, because it's great to catch up with everybody. But yeah, you're very welcome, John. Always take something away from these sessions. That's really, really great. Don't forget about Murphy Berry. Best wishes. Yeah, you know, you're all very, very welcome, and it's just great to catch up with you. And you know, it's good for you to kind of, once this video uploads and it goes you know, it kind of goes on my page, as it were. If you'd like to see anything in next week's broadcast, then you can make a comment there, and I will check those out and just see if we can include that in next week's thing. because this is all about you as much as me. I mean, I feel it's kind of about me because I'm doing a lot of playing and a lot of talking, and I can only really see your comments. So, it's really, really important for you to comment when this video becomes live on my channel, because then I can sift through the messages and think, okay, so and so would like to know about this, and so would like to know how you do this and how you do that, and then I can build some more substance into the show and stuff like that. Adios, Palmer. Great to catch up with you. I'm really glad you could make it tonight. I hope you can make it next week. Okay, so it's farewell time to people. You can all say bye now if you want to or not. Happy after day Thanksgiving, Jack. Terry, you're very, very welcome, mate. I do hope you join me. Deadwood, it's great to see you. I'm sorry I haven't mentioned you so far. Great lessons tonight, John. Thank you. Thanks, Susie. That's really kind. Paul, thank you as well. Case, is it Case Smits? Yeah, thanks. See you next week. Hey, it's great to see. We've had a record kind of turnout tonight as well. It's kind of double what I had last week, which is fantastic. So look, it's your time to say bye now, guys. Bye, Susie. Bye, Dead Cat. Is it Decat? Take care. Yeah, Decat. And then we got Animal. Catch you next time. That's great. And then Rich. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wasn't so sure tonight whether I'd done too much playing or, not enough talking and things like that. It's always difficult to kind of gauge, but okay, so Julie, great show. Love Variety by Susie Kane, guys. I'm glad you all enjoyed it, guys, and I look forward to seeing you soon with another one. I'm just going to give you a minute to say farewell, and then I'll be on my way, yeah? If anybody's interested, I've got my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to that, I'd really appreciate it if you did. Maybe give this video a thumbs up. And if anybody's interested in helping support me to continue on with all my video making and stuff like that, there's a link down below this video. There will be, at least, to my Patreon page. And all you really need to do there is just type in John Murphy at Patreon, and you'll come across my page. So Richard, Paul, Julie, Ken, Kent, Preston, great to have all you guys on board tonight. You've really helped make it. George, great chat from across the pond, and great to catch up with you all again. I'm flattered at the amount of people who are turning up for these shows. It's fantastic, and I hope that you're all back. And you can kind of, someone from Norway there, I think that's Wanderer or something of that nature. It's great to have any new listeners or viewers on board as well. So, Phil, great to see you as well. And, well, thanks, Terry. I'm glad I'm not just waffling and people are thinking just pick up your guitar and play. Look forward to seeing you all next week, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend. See you later.